I was saved by God to make America great again.
Deportations, firings, pardons, and a blizzard of executive orders.
The Constitution of the United States.
It's only been 1 week since President Trump's swearing in, and heads have spun across the US. Just hours into becoming the 47th president, Trump hit the ground running with a flurry of executive orders, 26 of them to be precise. Some were even signed at a victory rally and Sharpies thrown into the crowd. Trump's executive orders brought a declaration of national emergency on the US-Mexico border, presidential pardons for 1,500 January 6 Capitol rights defendants, United States' withdrawal from WHO and Paris Climate Agreement, ending birthright citizenship for migrants' children born in the US, threats of a tariff war and renewed sanctions on multiple nations, recognizing two-gender policy, male and female in the United States, renaming Gulf of Mexico and easing restrictions on oil drilling. Week 1 of Donald Trump's second presidency was a whirlwind of bold moves. On Monday, he was sworn in, declaring he was saved by God to make America great again. He renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America and declared there are only two genders and made dubious comments about Gaza and its phenomenal location on the sea. Tuesday brought a crackdown on university staff and a $500 billion AI startup. On Wednesday, Trump called for Putin to end the Ukraine war or face sanctions and revoked security details for former officials like Mike Pompeo and John Bolton. Thursday saw tariff threats, a bizarre proposal to make Canada a US state, and a federal judge blocking Trump's birthright citizenship ban. The president also ordered the declassification of assassination files on John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. By the week's end, long queues leading to deportation flights followed absolute mayhem at the Mexico border. But what does the future of these sweeping presidential decisions hold? Trump's new administration marked a seismic shift in US politics, reiterating his promises made, promises kept agenda in controversial ways. Keeping his election promise, Trump pardoned 1,500 individuals involved in the January 6 Capitol attack, including violent rioters and those who assaulted law enforcement. The decision has emboldened far-right groups and sparked concerns about political violence. Trump's first-day actions included withdrawing from the World Health Organization and pulling out of the Paris Climate Agreement for the second time. By halting US's participation in these global initiatives, Trump has isolated America, potentially worsening global health efforts and climate change impacts. Trump declared a national emergency to ramp up efforts at the US-Mexico border, including sending more troops and targeting the 14th Amendment's birthright citizenship. This marks a dramatic continuation of Trump's America First immigration policies, which many argue will worsen the country's already fraught immigration system. One of Trump's early actions was to halt the resettlement of refugees, including more than 1,600 Afghans who had helped US forces. Thousands of refugees who had been through a lengthy vetting process were left stranded around the world, some with flights already booked. In one of his more controversial actions, Trump moved to dismantle diversity, equity and inclusion, or the DEI initiatives, and restrict gender recognition on official documents. The administration's stance against transgender rights, including banning transgender individuals from serving in the military and limiting passport options to two genders, has now intensified culture wars. In less than a week, America's administration has abandoned the world's main health agency, ditched a global treaty on the climate crisis, and told refugees already approved to fly to the US that they were not welcome and could no longer come. Trump's rapid-fire decisions in his first week have left the country divided. Supporters celebrate his bold moves, but critics argue his actions point to authoritarian tendencies. Pardons for January 6 rioters, attacks on refugees, and his war on diversity and transgender rights are just the beginning. Court battles are already underway, as judges move to challenge some of his more extreme orders. And while Trump vows to end the Ukraine war in 24 hours, many doubt that promise. His latest moves have revived fears of an imperial presidency, thus going unchecked by the Constitution or public opinion. The nation is holding its breath as the next chapter unfolds, with Trump continuing to push boundaries and challenge norms. As Trump administration readies to enforce the sweeping decisions, one question looms large. Will Trump's second term reassert his legacy, or will it forever alter the course of US democracy?